Hello once again, here with another Duel Fighters video. On this occasion we will explain the use of the action cards. In Duel Fighters, each character has a certain set of cards called action cards which are supplied with a miniature. As the name suggests, these cards determine the number of actions that a character can carry out during his turn, such as movements, attacks and other special actions. Additionally, the action cards can be used to enhance their attacks and defense during a round of combat. Cards identified with action are used mainly for performing movements and attacks with the character or to enhance an attack or defense. In addition to these generic cards, some characters have equipment cards and spells which at the same time are also action cards, as long as they are not equipped or are being used at the same time. When a team card is not equipped, it is to all effects and purposes treated as a generic action card and its effects are not taken into account. When a card is equipped, it is placed on a table in front of the player and is no longer counted as an action card, and therefore reduces the total number of action cards available to the player. Let's use Derator as an example. Derator has 4 available action cards. The Abyssal equipment allows him to increase his constitution and his defense if you equip it. If you equip it, Derator can increase his defense to 6 and his constitution to 5, however at the cost of only having 3 action cards left to perform movements and attacks. He could also equip a weapon, and this would probably turn him into a killing machine, but would reduce his action cards to only 2 to move and attack. This decision on how and when to equip the characters will fall on the player's shoulders and depends largely on the type of duel and the way that they play. Spell cards and single-use objects are used differently. These cards cannot be equipped for use and they remain in the player's hand and can normally be used as action cards. When a spell is cast, a magic marker must be used in the sequence. When its effect, as indicated on the card, takes place, the card is discarded without being available during future turns unless some other effect allows it to be retrieved. There are other types of spells that are not consumed when they are cast. These are called maintenance spells. A maintenance spell works as an equipment card, and once used it remains on the table until its effect ends or the player decides to withdraw it. When this happens, the card is discarded. Renius has 6 action cards. He decides to build his sequence with 3 spells and a magic ring, which leaves him with 2 simple action cards. Spells are very powerful weapons but consume a lot of the player's energy as they are cast. Renius will continue losing action cards per turn, and when he rolls all of them will be only left with 2 or 3 if he decides not to equip his magic ring. Fortunately, Renius has an archetypal ability that allows him to stop during gameplay to meditate. This thereby allows him to recover any spell. However, stopping in Duel Fighters is not usually a very good idea. Finally, there are the special action cards. These cards, like the rest, can be used as simple action cards but can also be used at any stage of the game without the player having previously placed any marker in his action sequence. These special action cards are not discarded after they are played, however become depleted during the current turn, but can be used again in subsequent turns. For example, Halithan has made an error in his strategy and has been surprised by Derator. He faces an attack by Derator on his flank before being able to perform his own encircling movement. However, he has an evasion card in hand that allows him to avoid hits at the cost of victory points. As this is a special action card, he didn't have to have planned it, and so Halithan can use it to try and survive Derator's attack. Derator obtains 4 hits and Halithan only 1. However, has to use up 3 experience points in order to avoid the rest of the hits and escape unscathed from this dangerous situation. When the turn finishes, Halithan can recover his evasion card and reuse it as long as he has enough experience points. We will now briefly describe the action card status. It is important to be very clear on the 4 different status of the cards throughout the game. The status of the cards is crucial in playing this game. Used and available cards. The cards which have not been used or played and are in the player's hand are considered to be available. When a player performs an action sequence, as many action cards as the steps in the sequence have to be played. Cards that have been played are considered used and will be available again at the beginning of the next turn. For example, if a player performs the following action sequence, 3 action cards must be played to carry it out. This means that during the current turn, he will only have 1 card available to react. To indicate that a card has been used, simply put it upside down on the character sheet. Equipped cards. Cards can be equipped and, as mentioned previously, cease to be available to be utilized as action cards, nor any attributes indicated thereon. A player can choose to begin the duel equipped with as many pieces of equipment as available to his character, or equip them during the duel as they see fit. Discarded cards. Some cards, whether they are equipment or magic cards, can only be used once and are thereafter not available again during the game. When they've been used, they are removed from the player's hand and cannot be used again unless some other card allows them to be recovered. And that's all for now with regards to the different action cards. We hope that this video has further clarified the mechanics of this exciting game. See you during the next video.